breath. Huh? 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 Uh-huh. Hmm? Hmm? Might as well put your shirt on now, Mr. Powlett-Jones.
Is everything all right?
Can't complain, mustn't grumble. Ah, I see. Everything all right with you, I suppose you mean? Yes, it is. Sound as a bell, old chap. A1 for insurance purposes.
Oh, good.
Yes, providing you lead a sensible sort of life. You know, not too much wandering over cliffs or standing in the path of express trains, you know the sort of form. You should live through a ripe old age.
Oh, fine.
You sound as if you don't believe me.
Oh, no, it wasn't that. It's just that... Well, there was something I thought I might mention since I was passing.
Oh, go ahead, old chap.
Well, you know I'm getting married soon.
Heard as much. So you're getting a checkup? Getting some insurance cover? Sensible man. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, well, it's hard to know how to put this, but I've had some misgivings about it.
Yeah?
About the physical aspect of it.
Oh, don't give it a thought, man. There's a lot of nonsense talked about that, you know. In my opinion, it's damn difficult to overdo that sort of thing. Now, I've given you a clean bill of health, old chap. You're not going to strain your heart or black out at the breakfast table. Take my word for it.
That's not quite what I meant.
Oh, my mistake. Well, go on then.
Well, since they shipped me back to England, and before that in the trenches, I haven't exactly been bothered by uncontrollable sexual urges. Quite the contrary, in point of fact. Is that very unusual?
No, it isn't. Veld starvation, we used to call it in South Africa. I got any number of men coming to me, they seemed to think they'd lost all interest. Capability into the bargain. I've known chaps ask for aphrodisiacs along with a demobilization kit. Every one of them thought he was a special case. You did too, I expect.
Yes, I did wonder.
The fact is, most males adjust themselves to deprivation after a time. I did myself. Well, you found yourself a filly you fancy now. I understand you didn't take long to make up your mind about the girl.
No, I didn't. But before running into her, I never had the slightest inclination to go off and find myself a woman. A virgin at 23. Well, that's a bit unusual, isn't it?
Not in your case, old chap. Sensitive nature, brought up in the chapel, then pitchforked into that bloody Holocaust. No, there's nothing unusual about it at all. The extraordinary thing is that you could manage to discuss it with a stranger.
Yes, well, if you knew how I had to screw myself up to do it.
Glad you did. Glad you did. Well, you made a splendid recovery, you know, but your body takes its own time. Old John Thomas is a country beggar. He knows when he's ready.
So you don't think I need any...
Oh, bless you, no. You've had the luck to find a girl to revive your natural instincts. My advice to you is to let well alone and give those instincts free rein, all right?
Yes. Thank you very much.
You want children?
Why, I don't think I thought about it.
Fine, fine. Don't. If they come, they come. When they like, rather than when you like. Family planning afoot. Have you got a photo of the girl?
Yes, I have.
Let's have a look then. Ah, bonny lass, sturdy.
Sturdy?
Hardy. Good stock. Should be very good for you. Well, how are you liking it up there at Banfield?
Oh, I like it fine. Well, mostly because Harris knows what he's about. I owe a good deal to that man.
Yeah, you're not the only one. I knew that place in Wesker's time. Do the boys' hall. He's changed all that. Mind you, Algy's got his problems, you know.
Oh, yes, I know. He was
Now,
saying...
there's nothing I'd like better than to hang round here gossiping with you, but I've got a baby due up at Barrowfield Farm. So if you must worry, worry about that school of yours.
Whiskey and soda, Alderman.
That'd be very welcome.
Well, what did you think of it?
Well, I can't say that I was impressed with that so-called science lab of yours, Carter. No, I wasn't impressed at all. Have you seen the technical school over at Woollerton?
Yes, I have.
They'd laugh at yours.
Say when, sir.
That's not.
No, I'm afraid there's never been any scientific or technical bent at Banfield. Latin, Greek, rugby, football.
You couldn't build a business like mine on Latin and Greek.
Oh, exactly, sir. Well, I do what I can, but you've seen it. We have boys in this school who would make first-class scientists and engineers, but we haven't got the tools of the trade. Now, I'd like to install modern equipment so that they could carry out real experiments, and I would like to have some metalwork equipment, lathes, let them see what it's like to work with their hands as well as their heads.
You'd like to see some fettlers.
I beg your pardon?
Fettlers. Lads who'll take the jackets off and get their hands mucky. That's the trouble with this country, Carter. There's not enough fettlers.
Exactly, sir. And I'm afraid the public school mentality tends to look down on men who make things. I'd like to change all that, Alderman.
And build yourself up a good big science department, eh?
I'm sure it would benefit the school.
And you think you can see where the money's coming from, can't you? It's all right, Carter. There's no need to be too delicate about it. I'm used to being described as a war profiteer. Well, that's water off a duck's back to me. My firm responded to the needs of the country. We rolled up our sleeves, did the job, and made a damn good profit into the bargain. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm proud of it. That's the way the world works, Carter. The war was a good time for me.
Well, I'm sure no one holds that against you, Alderman.
I'm damn sure they do, and so are you. I'm a man of feeling, Carter. I want to make a gesture. £500 for a war memorial. That seemed about the right way to make a gesture to me.
Well, that's a very generous donation, Alderman.
I thought so. And do you know, Carter, today's the first time I've been invited to set foot in the school.
Really, Alderman? Oh, I find that hard to believe. No, I've often thought it's a crying shame you've never been invited onto the governing board.
So have I.
I mean, a man with your standing in the local
A
community.
man with my money. It's all right, Carter. I understand your motives and I respect them. It's good to know there's someone here who's got a head on his shoulders and his feet on the ground. We'll see how this memorial business goes. If it goes well, then I might consider